Well, of course, I think the most important issue of the day is the expansion of Medicaid to the limit that needs to be done. He put that decision off, and I look forward to that being resolved. That, to me, is the most important matter. There were several good things in his budget, some disappointments. He is closing our state office building in downtown Memphis without a plan, so to speak. It's kind of like abandoning your home and then saying we're going to put it on the market. Well, you know, who's going to buy that? That causes heartburn in Memphis and will cause heartburn. I mean, we're going to have to work our way through that. I would say to you that I appreciate the effort at trying to address problems at Children's Services, but it's going to take, it's good that we're doing what we're doing, but I question whether or not we made a mistake in closing Taft, and we're going to have some discussion about whether we need to reopen Taft.
I tell you that I really appreciated his approach on the Medicaid expansion. To know that he hasn't shut the door in spite of the tremendous pressure that I know he's under from some of the people who just want to say we want nothing to do with Obamacare. But it's important to note that there is a population that won't be served unless we do the Medicaid expansion. He says he's going to look at it. I know some hospitals are in dire straits without it. So between the hospitals, the actual people who have to be served, I'm confident that he'll come to the conclusion that we've got to have some form of Medicaid expansion. Now, I wish I'd heard more about specifics on jobs. I'd like to see more training programs. I'd like to see more monies put into higher education to close that gap. Now college is coming to the point to where it's going to be a luxury for the elite. And we can't talk about putting monies into a few training programs and not still have the dollars to put into four-year colleges to where we can have degrees in some of the engineering, medical, teachers, those fields.
I think he made some stabs at a lot of different issues and committed some more funding to some things like mental health, like education and those things, and certainly we can support those. I just hope it's more, there's enough to make a real difference in the monetary amounts that he puts in there. I certainly thought the $16.5 million for higher ed was a great thing, and we've been for that in the past, so I think that's certainly fine. As far as things that just won't work, I think the voucher situation, I'm still yet to see the real advantage of that. And then I was glad to see him talk about Medicaid expansion, but to me, it's almost a no-brainer. You know, when almost 40% of our budget is federal money, the feds could pull out any day. So this is very, very critical to health care for our citizens.
The thing that I am very reluctant and very cautiously contemplating supporting is the school vouchers. For several reasons, I don't think it's been thought through. I can certainly compliment the governor for a try, but I don't think teachers have even adjusted to the teacher evaluations yet. I think we're throwing so much at educators so fast. I don't think they can comprehend it or deal with it as fast as we're throwing it. Second thing that bothers me a little bit about the school vouchers is that we are slowly but surely moving back to segregating kids in many ways. My contention's always been, if you put a A student with a D student or C student, you get better results than grouping all C students in one location.
One of the things that totally impressed me, you got to remember, I chaired education for a long time, K through 12, served on the higher education committee. He talked about K through 12, okay? See, heretofore the Republicans were not really supporting K through 12. They tried to kill it. They did not try to infuse money in it, they tried to kill it. Well, we know the research says that K through 12, the pre-K and all that stuff is where you got to start developing these kids, which in the long term makes our state just that much more competitive. I was really surprised and elated that he said it, okay? I can support that, okay? Wholeheartedly. Also, as a former chair of the Education Committee, education in this country, especially in our state, is going up just like health care. It's too high, okay? It's already too high. It's been too high. Every year I was on the education committee, the trajectory was this way, just going up and up and up and up and up. It's extremely too high. Now, I'm surprised that didn't show up. One of the things that I thought would show up is our infrastructure, okay? Now, our infrastructure, our roads and our bridges and so forth, you know, I think we need to look at those. I think that there's a time, because most of our infrastructure is probably 40, 50, 60 years old across the country. You know, now all that costs money, but the time to do it was when you can get this low bond money, okay? When you can finance this stuff at very low rates. So things of that nature. And obviously, one thing he didn't really get into it in detail, but I'm looking to see how this voucher thing is going to come out, because I don't support vouchers, okay? But by the same token, I think he was alluding to some of that, and that would be a thing that I would to see him, you know, put more meat on that skeleton to see where he's going before I'd make a comment about it. But I thought he gave a great speech. I really did.